So I think we are about to start the event, the special holiday talk in February 2019. Welcome. Let's give a big hand to our speaker, Simon, and also to yourself for joining us today. With this, I want to say thank you to the special holiday talk team led by Alice, our team, that been putting a lot of effort in organizing this event. Thank you. So today we are so excited to introduce our speaker, Simon Wong. Yeah, who is the CEO of a very important group called L&H Group, and I believe most of you have been joining his food catering industry for many times, including my wife. She's a big fan of my wife. Okay. Yeah. So I believe today Simon is not simply talking about his journey. But today I actually got to know Simon has been working as an engineer for over 10 years. So we would like to know about how he ended up to become the chairperson and CEO of LH Group. And also he has a strong relationship with CityU, with the College of Business in here. And also he has been the president of the Institute of Dining Arts. And in particular, he very focused on the social issue in our society. So he has been serving in different part of our society. So I would like to pass the time to Simon to let him open the floor for everybody. Let's give a big hand. Thank you, Simon. Sorry, drinking water. So I just want to remind all of you, please focus on the SPECIAL issue, the different angle that he's going to share with us tonight. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Zhang, giving me this opportunity to come here and share with you my story. Thank you all of you spending a peaceful evening with me. We have an hour, so maybe I will spend, say, 20 minutes, just give you a very brief introduction to myself, who I am and what I have done as CEO of the LH Group, which is a Chinese restaurant, a restaurant group, so to say. So this is me. I used to be a civil engineer. I studied in Australia, and after coming back home to Hong Kong, I served as a consultant and also worked in the highway departments and also contractors for almost 11 years before I joined LH Group, which was actually founded by my father. So if you ask me why I changed from an engineer to run business, to run restaurant business, actually the answer is very simple, because of family relationship. And I was appointed as the 10 outstanding youth persons in 2011. And as Professor Zhang has already said, I am kind of a representative of the catering industry in Hong Kong, because I'm the president of a F&B association and also a chairman of the Hong Kong Japanese Food and Cuisine Association. And this is a few milestones. Have you, any of you have visited Zui Fuk Lau before? Are you sure?
Yes.
Because the first Lucky House restaurant was founded in 1986 in Ho Min Tin, just opposite to Pui Ching. And so if you have visited one of our restaurants, I used to think that you must be at least 35 years old or more, but if you said you have visited one, I don't know. Where, which one did you visit? In Teaser, oh, that's a special one, because that's the only one that we actually keep the restaurant name, Zui Fuk Lau. And in the 90s, we were actually one of the biggest Chinese restaurant group in Hong Kong. And so, in 2007, I joined Lucky House Restaurant Group. At that time, we called it Lucky House Restaurant Group. Wow, what a messy name. So, one of the things I've done is to rebrand the company name, which is now LH Group. Doesn't stand for anything, it's LH Group. Right? So, And very importantly, in 2008, we have formed a subgroup called Kabushiki Gaisai. Actually, this is the one that runs all the Japanese and Korean restaurants that we are now operating, including Gyukaku. I'm quite sure some of you must have visited Gyukaku before. And also, and this Mumu Club is the largest shabu shabu restaurant chain in Hong Kong now. It is a brand that owned by our company. And we were the very first Chinese restaurant to promote no shark fin menu in wedding record, so it's quite a milestone. And in 2013, I was in this RTHK program called Rich Mate Poor Mate, Kung Fu Yong Dai Jiao Jin. How many of you have watched my program before? Not too many. If you haven't, I strongly recommend you to spend your very valuable 43 minutes on YouTube or on RTHK website. It's a very good program and it's quite inspiring. So spend some time on it and you will know me a lot more. And only because of this program, when I get back to the company, I try to find a way as a restaurant operator, how can I help the society? And that's why we have this suspended meal program in our groups. And so more than 100,000 free meals has been provided to the need already. And last year, we were listed in the main board of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And this is actually a quite interesting photos. This lady is not my wife, not my mother too. It's actually a dishwasher in a Gyukaku restaurant. So me as the CEO, together with these dishwashing ladies, kind of represent all the spectrums of our the more than 1,000 staff in our company, and we join hands to do the ceremony, the WONG ceremony. So it's quite iconic. And just in August, we kind of saved this Wing Wah noodles, Wing Wah Min Ga, because it was decided to close down the business after 70 years, and we think this is a very good local Hong Kong brand that we should preserve. So we have brought the business, and now it's going to be started again very soon. So this is how we are doing our business now. We have a Chinese restaurant chain, and a Kabushiki Gaisai is a chain that runs Asia cuisine. So we have now 14 brands, 39 restaurants, basically all over Hong Kong. So some people may think, oh, you must be is it called rich second generation? But actually I'm not, because in the 90s we were quite strong with 33 shops, but when I joined Alice Group, we only had 6 left. And as far as I understand, at that time when I joined the company, we were at no profit at all. We are losing money at that time. So when I joined the group, I was kind of coming back to help and to try to save this ever declining business group. And now we're back to 39, so doing quite okay. So it's not an easy process, as you can see, this 11 years. So recognition. Okay, next. We have we have got a lot of awards in all these years, mostly related to environmental friendly green award, and some are being good employers, something like that. And yeah, I was in the restaurant dishwashing for a few times with my staff. Quite a good experience actually. And some people say, many people say, and employees are the most valuable assets for a company. But I always disagree with that, because if you say employees are assets, it's kind of sound like you can buy and sell them, and it's kind of like you own them. But I more like call them partners. We work together, and we are teammates. And so that's why on all the tables in all my 33 restaurants, you can find this card. And on this card, I encourage customers to give compliment, to say thank you to all my staff, because they are working so hard to make customers happy. And if they want to, they can send the message to my personal email or to my Facebook, and I promise I will read and reply myself every day. So even my secretary, my personal assistant do not have the password. It got to be me. And so we have a lot of friendly, employee-friendly policies and a lot of activities which I'm not going to go into details. Including all, but in the past, no one would believe a restaurant group, a Chinese restaurant group would provide such benefits. Birthday leave, volunteer leave, and we even have a free vaccine for all staff, even their families. Though in the past nobody can imagine, but now we are doing that. And once in a year, just 2 weeks ago, in the traditional Chinese New Year dinner, every year we as the top management will serve our colleagues, because I think once in a while the top guys will serve the general staff so that they can feel that we care about them. So it's another award about smiling. Doesn't really matter. So yeah, I still say that being a boss, being an operator, being a businessman, I think it is our duty to keep the business alive, to earn some money. So don't feel shame to earn money. But at the same time, while you are making money, I'm pretty sure you can contribute, at the same time contribute to the society. And there's no contradiction at all. And I tell you how. I mentioned it already. We distribute 100,000 free meals in all these years. And you can help us by buying all these coupons so that we can distribute more. We are still doing it today. And rice dumpling, and we have elderly visiting our restaurant so that we can give them a free meal, a elderly visit, and also we support this after-school learning scheme in Hong Tai Sin, and we also have every single day provide 60 meals to this Chagol and social service group every day for I think at least 3 years. And not only locally but internationally, the very big earthquake in Kumamoto, after that we donate 10 days of incomes, not excluding the cost. Every single cent in 10 days you give us, we donate all the monies to Japan for the relief in Kumamoto. And this is even more interesting because even when you are doing business, you can help those in the flood. Because these special limited editions are came from Daisai. This is actually a special version with every single bottle we sell, there will be some money donated to the people there. And also, we always think that to the youth, we should teach them how to fish rather than give them fish to eat. So every year we have 20 to 30 opening to those binting, that those at home having nothing to do, and they can join the program, and we provide a very full covered training to them, and then they can work full time in our restaurant group, having full pay. So every single year we are doing this. And we have some scholarship program for the government to distribute to the secondary school students and all kinds of this award. This is an interesting story actually. Do you remember, I think it must be 3 years ago, the government has a food truck program. At that time, I posted on my Facebook asking if anyone young or old, if you have good idea on food trucks, come and talk to me. And maybe I will invest in your good idea. And it must be about almost 50 group of people come, and I spent a whole week, 9 to 6, meeting all of them one by one. And one of them is this very talented young gentleman called Frankie. He was actually a designer, but with very good idea on how to make the very traditional gulo yolk, sweet and sour pork, into a very trendy finger food. And so at that time, I asked him to, why not come and join my company? And then just because of this Facebook invitation, he became a designer at the beginning in my company, and now a business developing manager. And now, not only my staff, but also my partner, because his dream to open a small restaurant, a quick fast food restaurant, has been fulfilled, because just last month, this Gulo restaurant has been opened in Tsim Sha Tsui. We are joint venture together. He gave not a big amount, and our company invest more. Next. So basically, I think all newspapers and magazines has been coming for interviewing him, and TVB come 2 times, even radios. So it's full cover. And so maybe one day you have some good idea, why not come and talk to me? Maybe I will be brave enough to invest in your idea too. And today, so that's why I bought this little old school piggies for souvenirs. It's designed by Frankie actually. Okay, next. So I say that again. Is profit more important or social responsibility more important? I think they have no contradiction. And when I was very young, very little kid, my dad already said to me, he said, if you have only got 1 bowl of rice and you see someone hungry, you can only share half bowl with him. But if you have many bowls of rice, you can actually have more power to help more people. So it has become a very strong philosophy in my life. The reason why I do business and the reason why I make money, because I will have more power, more strength to help other people. So this is all my staff. We go to clean the bridge, and even this coming Saturday we go again. And next, and this is more on the environmental friendly sections. because I'm an engineer, so that's why the gas company and the electricity company always ask me to try the new energy-saving kitchen equipment. That's why we are very pioneer on using all these energy-saving equipment. It saves a lot of, not only saving the earth, but also saving my pocket, because it saves a lot of cost actually. So in many ways you can find ways that you can benefit the whole society and also benefit yourself. And we of course very care about food safety, so we have all the very detailed equipment cleaning and food storing instructions. And every month in all our restaurant branches, we have these individual third-party independent agents to come and check all the food safety, including checking all the bacteria on hands of all the chefs. So it's very, very safe. And I think this is also one way to show your social responsibility actually. This system in Mumu Club I really love. I invented it myself because Mumu Club is a all-you-can-eat restaurant, and all the green groups say all-you-can-eat is not good for the environment because you waste. People tend to waste a lot of food and create a lot of food waste. And they are kind of right actually, because one time when I visit one of my restaurants, I see a group of 6, probably a family, even after they finish eating and get the bill, those things left on the table, I'm pretty sure can feed 4 adults. So it was really bad. And so that's why after getting back to the office, I, with my staff, invented this system. This is, we call it red-green card system. It's kind of simple. When you visit Mumu Cup now, when you enter, we will give you a red card, asking you and reminding you to finish all the food. Only if you can finish the food, you take the food from the food table. And after you finish eating, when you ask for the bill, we will have someone to come and check. If you really have finished everything, basically finished everything, we will then exchange the red card into a green card, which means with the green card, you can save a few dollars next time when you visit. And more importantly, we will donate 5 Hong Kong dollars for each green card we give out to a green organization to further promote environmental system. So with this, we can see the food waste has been decreased very significantly, and at the same time, I save a lot of food cost. So it actually boosts my profit. So once again, it's no contradiction to make money and to do good for the society. Oh, and of course, we are not giving out plastic straw anymore. We are testing these sugar cane straws. A little bit too expensive, but let's see what we can do. But at least we are not distributing. And on all our table, the tissue that we let you use free of charge is actually made by bamboo. So it's very hygienic and very good for the environment. And wet pocket, we have a use renew system. And have you heard about Beyond Burger, Beyond Meat? This is actually a plant-based steak, which is good for the environment and also good for your health. And we, the Hong Kong Gyukaku, is the very first yakiniku brand in the world to use this in the restaurant serving. And now we even have a new product called Omi Pork. So Beyond Meat is kind of a brief product, plant-based, and this is plant-based pork. And not only in the Japanese restaurant, we actually use it in our Chinese restaurant to making dim sum, to make this steam rice. So it's a very good concept and a lot of report on TV and magazine lately. So it's about it, and let's sit down with Professor Zhang and we see what we want to talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So time to have questions. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, maybe I start with opening the floor. Yeah, Simon, do you cook food at home and also in the restaurant? Or cook? You cook? Do you cook? Yeah, very relaxed. It's a casual chat. So you serve.
I am sure I'm a very talented cook. But the only two items that I know I'm good at is the first one is frying steak. So each year in Valentine's Day, I never go out to eat. I cook at home for my wife, only the steak. And the second dish that I love cooking is instant noodle. I never met other people cook instant noodles for me. I always cook for myself.
No wonder you can really connect with our students here. They all love cooking instant noodles, right?
Very difficult.
Yes, Simon, you mentioned that you take up this huge responsibility from your family, and how do you like it? This is a very important decision, right? So can you advise to our students when they are like studying in university, they need to plan for their future, and they always have struggling whether go for further study or go for a job. And how do you really advise them to really plan for their future? Yeah, when they come up with this kind of important decision.
I'm someone not really believe in planning. I kind of well, not to say you don't need any plan, but I think you need clear directions. You need to know what is your purpose of life. So it's like setting a destination in the Google map. But then, the way to go, you always need to turn. Sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right. And you cannot always trust the Google map because it do not know about the road constructions and all these lines. So, set a very long target, a purpose of your life, and then you have to see how it goes. I never planned as a restaurant operator. Some people think maybe my daddy always wanted me to be, but I tell you, I don't think he always wanted me to run a restaurant. And actually, when I was young, I always remember he said, "Do not run a restaurant," and he wanted me to be a professional. Maybe that's why I start my career as civil engineer. And even when my wife married me, she particularly asked, "Would you ever become a restaurant operator?" I said, "No, of course not." But you see now, I'm very happily running 39 restaurants and feeling my life is very fulfilled. So it's very difficult to plan ahead.
I totally agree with you. It's also the same to me. Yeah, I also need to make a lot of choices, but sometimes it's very hard to plan your next step. But instead, you look ahead for a long way ahead, so you can plan it. So if you talk about this point, I would like to ask you a more challenging question. Now your company is listed.
If you keep asking, you will earn all my tickets.
Of course, I would like to see if there's any student want to ask question. I believe you want to ask question. Yes, we have a student at the back. Come. Yeah, you can stand up here.
Hello.
So I wanted to ask, it's a minor question actually, but since when you joined the company in 2009 or 2007, I can't remember the exact year, there were only 7 restaurants, right? So the group was failing. So what was your mindset when you joined? Because I mean, I'm personally afraid of risk.
Over there. So I'm pretty sure if he opened a Zui Fuk Lao there, we will be dead. It's not going to work. So I gave him some ideas. I said maybe, because I worked as a property developer in Shanghai at that time. What do you study?
I studied history.
History. I think engineer training gave me very logical mind. And when I was working as engineer, I always need to manage construction site. And I kind of think to be a good manager on a construction site, you have to manage the time so that you won't be over time, and manage the people there, and also manage the budget, which is money. And I kind of think that that's quite universal in managing any other business. So even in restaurant business, it's always the people, the time, and the money. So it helps. But I think if I'm not born with some restaurant DNA, restaurant blood, it won't be as easy. Because in all my lifetimes, I kind of grow up in restaurant. So I'm so used to the environment and so used to the people there. So it gave me easy start off. And even more importantly, I go back to school. I went back to school and studied. I joined the VTC. I got the VTC, a program called Dongmiu Gaiwang. It's a very famous restaurant management program, 1-year program, a professional diploma program. So in that program, I kind of learned a lot, not only learned a lot, and I know all my classmates, which were all restaurant owners. And it suddenly expand my connections 39 times, because those are the only people from the restaurant group that are not introduced by my daddy to me. So you need to spend extra effort to get used to different environment. But if you are spending real effort, you can make it.
Thank you very much. Very good questions. You earned it. Any questions? I can see student here. Yes, we have Alex from EE. Yes. Who is not a resident here? Yeah.
Thank you. And I heard a lot about the social responsibility, what your companies do, but I would like to ask if you ever faced some situation that the social responsibility has some conflict with your business?
Every day. I'll give you an interesting example. When we start distributing free suspended meal in Tin Shui Wai, at the very beginning, we distribute at about 3 p.m. because we kind of think you get the meal at 3 p.m. preparing for dinner. And the people line up. And then they line up early. They line up at 1, 2 hours early. And then we don't want the elderly to wait for so long. So we kind of distribute earlier. And then they come earlier. And then it was like a racing. And then at the end, they come every single day lining up in front of my restaurant 6 a.m. standing in front of my restaurant. And then we think it's not good for them. So we start off giving out
some token.
Some tokens, things like that. And then they start to line up 1 day before. And then because it's just too tiring, right? So they use their slipper and shoes putting in front of my restaurant. So every day we have more than 100 pairs of dirty shoes and slippers in front of my restaurant. You can imagine how messy it is and how angry is the management of the shopping mall. So it was such a mess, and sometimes they fight. An 80 years old fighting with an 82 years old because of the free meal. So talking about social responsibility is always sound happy and sexy. But when you are doing it, you face every possible problem. And so, but you can always find solutions. And I always remind myself, of course you can imagine, I have to fight in my head whether I should continue or I should stop. And I always remind myself, it's not an excuse to stop. Those people need the help. Sometimes they even get the coupons and then selling it. You want them to have a free meal and they sell it for $28 too. And then I gave excuse to them. Maybe they need the money to see doctor. So that's why they sell it. So you just have to keep doing. And to solve the problem, I tell you finally how we solve it. We work with an NGO. We net the NGO to distribute the tokens. And they set some rules for those who is willing to help the local communities. They earn a point. And up to 10 points, they give out like tokens to them. So it kind of not only giving out free meal, but to promote helping. So it's just an example on how it goes. It's always difficulties.
Thank you, Simon and Alex. Any follow-up questions? Yes, let's go. Yeah, our top writer. Yes.
I'm focusing more on the people part of your group, and I'm very impressed that you actually care about your employees so much. So I want to know if this inspiration came from a particular route, or you always had inside you that your employees are important.
What makes you so care about people?
I think there's mainly two main reasons. The very first one is actually from our first generation, from my dad. Because in restaurant business, it's always a very closey industry. Because all the employees see each other for 12 hours a day. Many say you see your colleagues more than seeing your families. So we are like a very big family. So you tend to care about them. And my daddy, at his times, he very much cared the employees direct. When he saw someone getting sick, he would ask the kitchen to cook a special soup for him to get recovered, something like that. And where we are now a listed company, a bigger group, we kind of, those human touch is sometimes not so appropriate. And sometimes you need to have a fair system but at the same time you show your care, your passion to your colleagues, your staff. And so the very second reason why I started caring my staff is because of the RDHK program. And that's why I said maybe you should watch the program and then you will know why. Because in the program I need to live in a townhome, in a
Some divided apartments.
yeah.
Cage room. Yeah, cage.
A cage room. I have stayed in that cage room for 4 days and working as, I had two jobs. One is working as in the supermarket, and one is working at a fish ball on street. Seller, yeah, selling fish ball. So very, very hard-working job for 4 days. And it's we working, we living. 24 hours a day, they have a camera capturing me doing every single step. So I actually really learned a lot from those 4 days and kind of synchronize more with my colleagues.
That's impressive. Oh, you have one follow-up question, huh? Yeah, do quickly, one more. Yes.
So I also want to know what's the impact of your care. So I want to know maybe one experience where the employees reciprocated your care.
Oh. I remember 1 year after the annual dinner. The next day, at the annual dinner, I showed them some photos. The photo is about some very poor little kids in mainland China, not having enough food. And that's why, have you heard about Table for Two? Table for Two is an NGO founded in Japan, but now I have operation all over the world. We are long supporters of Table for Two. So if you come to my restaurant, if you order those few dishes, for each dish you order, we will donate $2 Hong Kong or those little kids so that they can buy maybe an egg and a few pieces of pork so that they have better meal every day. So in the annual dinner, I kind of show the photos and let my staff know why we are doing this, and so that I hope they know we are not only doing this to be published on newspaper. We have a purpose. We are actually helping real life people. And just after the annual dinner, a dishwasher called to the main office, to my secretary, and said she wants to donate the $1,000 which she got from the lucky draw in the annual dinner to those little kids in China. And that gave me a very strong punch, because dishwasher is actually the lowest.
Not easy job.
Not easy job, and $1,000 is a lot of money to her. But she obviously she was touched and moved, and she wants to donate her money. So that's why I went down to the restaurant immediately and found her in person and thanked her in person. And I also donated $1,000 with her. And the story is not stopping here. Every single year, she became the leader of money donation in the restaurant. And all asking everyone in the restaurant to donate money to the kids. And so every year she helped having a few, sometimes $50,000 maybe each year. So then it's, to me, it's a very good example of, you can actually have a very positive affection to other people so that they will continue.
That's so impressive, and I believe the lady is the one who go.
No,
not her. Because Ms. Tan, you have asked 2 good questions. I believe you deserve this.
Yes,
please. Congrats, right? So we still have 2 more. We can take 2 last questions.
A set of VIP card.
Do not miss your
discount and coupon there.
Yes, we have still.
Hi, Simon. I just noticed that the number of restaurants that your company all rose from 9 to 33 after you joined.
From 6 to 39.
6 to 39.
Yes.
Okay, after you joined the company.
Yes.
So I'm just curious about how you saved the company from such a dangerous situation. So could you share some stories with us? Thank you.
It must be a long story, but maybe some interesting.
Actually, the interesting thing is I never tried to save the company, and I never tried to earn more money. The least thing I do every day is to check the profit. I hardly check the sales performance of my group. And instead, I always cared about the response from customers. That's why I check all the emails sending to my personal account every day. That's why every day sometimes my wife complains, who are you messaging with at 11 p.m.? It's only the customers, you know. So maybe sometimes it's very interesting. If you care too much about the profit, maybe it's not the best way to get more profit. Profit only comes as a byproduct, yes, byproduct, so to say. So yeah, I just work hard day by day and do whatever I think is right for the company, and just naturally it grows. Just like when you water the plant, it grows. Not too difficult.
So it's very natural. There's no
Very
magic. Yeah, you deserve it.
And if you come to my restaurant more, I will.
One last question is, oh yes, we have a student here from Yi. He's from Egypt.
Oh.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
I would like to ask, do you think it would have been easier to achieve what you achieved if you came from like a more business-oriented background instead of engineering, or it wouldn't have mattered that much?
I don't know if it would be easier if I come from a different background, but my dad has once said, oh, if I knew that you would come back to work in the company, you should have come earlier when we were at the peak. Because when we were at 30 something, we earned a lot of money. At that time, running restaurant is like a dream. So easy, customers coming just so easy. So my dad said, you should have come when we were at our climate, our people, and not come back at the time when we were at the very bottom. So saying we have a very difficult start. But I very strongly disagreed with him. And I said to him, if I come back at that time and just following your footsteps and learning doing business from you direct, I think at most I will only be 70% of you. So I have no chance to just like now, learning from the outside world and then come back to contribute to the company. So to me, it's actually perfect because life is always perfect.
Very interesting. To conclude, I would like to raise my last question for Simon.
Yes, please.
Our students are excellent, and they're all from different major and different countries. If they want to join your venture, you are going global, right, in Asia Pacific. So what can they do to better equip for joining your company? So what kind of advice that you can give to them? That's my last question.
Oh, as my father has said, do not join restaurant business. It's a very difficult industry and you really need to work very hard. It's difficult money. But of course, if you really have passion in the F&B industry, you can always try. Joining my company or not is not the problem. But if you really want to join the F&B industry, you better think twice because it is going to be very tough, very difficult. So, but to get ready for the outside world, for the business world, I think one thing is more important. But some people ask me, what is the most important personalities that you need to be successful? And I always think that's one, never give up. I always say rich and poor is just an illusion. You may think that I'm a rich person, but it's just an illusion. Rich and poor is not to separate different groups of people. It's just different stage in your life. In your life, you will face success, you will face failure. It's just like playing mahjong or any card games. You have your lucky time, you have your unlucky times. Every single one has face the same thing. And if you give up when you are at here, you you define yourself as loser. And if you just hang on, and I assure you, your lucky time will come. And then at your upper moment, people will think you are very successful. And so, never give up. Remember what I said, never give up. Just keep calm and keep doing, and you will have your successful stage.
Thank you so much. Once again, Simon from LH Group, he has given us a wonderful sharing. In particular, bring us so many tiny little gifts that we can always remember his important motto: never give up.
Thank you.